Many of you may be new here as I just started covering this game last week. However, the channel's been around for a little over 3 years, and one thing I have always done and will continue to do is always give you a fair and balanced assessment of a game regardless of my own personal experience, and I want to do that in a toxic-free gaming environment. Now that means we have to have discussions, and as we get to the 48-hour mark of the premium edition and early access becoming available, I wanted to take a few moments and go over all of the hype that is surrounding the game right now, talk about my feelings of a few things that are happening in the universe, and most importantly, answer some of the questions you've sent the channel. What is going on, my YouTube family? Welcome back to the Gaming Brigade, and as we start this video off, I want to mention a few things really quick. First of all, this will be completely and totally spoiler free, and secondly, I want to thank you for your incredible support of this Starfield content. The way you've welcomed me into the community has been absolutely amazing, and I really hope this turns out to be the game we all hope it can be. If you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. If you enjoyed this, you could hit that like button as well, and we are having a giveaway for an Xbox Series S. We're giving away 2, and all you need to do to enter is either subscribe here or follow on Twitter, and the winners will be announced October 1st of this year. Now, when it comes to the topic of a game actually being able to live up to the hype that surrounds it, especially as we get so close to launch, it is very important to remember that you are going to run into articles and videos out there from people who have already made up their mind about the game and they have not played this thing for 1 minute. And I'm talking about both sides of the fence, because I'm seeing statements out there from people saying this is going to be the game of the year without a doubt, and on the flip side of that coin, I'm also seeing people say this is going to be a complete and total dumpster fire. I mean, it's Bethesda, so get ready for a ton of bugs on day one. I mean, look what happened with Fallout 76. However, the bottom line is this, at least in my opinion: no one can truly make an informed decision on whether this is a game for them or not, or the quality of the game, until it actually gets released to the masses. Now, when that takes place, that is when you're going to hear so many different opinions on the game, and that's when you really want to take that information in. You know, if you're on the fence about this game, I've said this multiple times in multiple videos, just wait. Do not play it as yet. There's no rush. You're not going to run out of stuff to do, so you do not need to be a day one player. I'm saying that as someone who's going to be a day one player. And always remember that all games are completely and totally subjective. Some people will enjoy it no matter what. Some people will dislike it no matter what. And it takes me back to what I was saying a moment ago, which is wait until you see different reviews. And I'm not talking about just over the next few days. I'm talking about over the next few weeks. Wait until it gets into the hands of the masses, see what most of the community is saying. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please let me know and I will do my best to get back to you as quick as I can. Now, with that being said, we're going to take a few moments and go over some of the reasons why people are skeptical of this game, and after that, we will go over a few reasons on why people are very optimistic about this game. Now, the first example I can give as far as skepticism goes stems from an issue that I had first-hand experience with. Please let me know if you did as well in the comment section down below, but that was the launch of Cyberpunk 2077. Now, as all of you know, that was easily one of the most anticipated games we had seen up until that point, because a lot of people were waiting for it for a very long time, kind of like Starfield. Now, what you're looking at is from an article from Vulture magazine from years ago, and as always, I will leave a link to that publication in the video description down below, and this goes over what the launch was actually like. So you can see it says, last night Sony removed Cyberpunk 2077, the most anticipated video game of the year by a long shot, from the PlayStation 4 digital storefront. Anyone who purchased the game on console over the past week since its release date will be offered a full refund. This is an unprecedented move, and the latest chapter in Cyberpunk's terrible, horrible, no good, very bad launch. In record time, the game has morphed from a presumptive Game of the Year candidate into an international pariah, sparking fan revolt, internal turmoil, and cross-corporate controversy due to a swathe of game-breaking glitches, withering technical issues, and graphical failures present in the versions released on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. It's a total mess, one that will continue to have wide-ranging implications for all of the involved parties. Now, I can tell you firsthand, as someone who bought this game on Xbox Series X, even on the next-gen systems, it was absolutely awful. I mean, 3 hours into the game, I already asked for a refund. I was given it right away. There were no questions asked whatsoever. Because for me, what we were given at launch was completely and totally unacceptable. Now, since then, we know that the game has made a very huge turnaround. I played the game since, thoroughly enjoying it. I'm looking forward to the DLC later this year. And the main reason why I wanted to use that launch as a reference point is because it's a perfect example of why gamers are skeptical when it comes to these big games. They'd rather wait and see what actually happens. And because of my own personal experience being let down by games, my mentality is very simple. I'm excited about a game. I hope I never lose that feeling of really anticipating something. But at the same time, I'm never going to fully get my hopes up until I actually get my hands on the game. As I said earlier, I promise to always give you an honest assessment of a game, let you know both sides, and like I said earlier, questions or comments, please let me know. Now at this point, my friends, we are going to go to the other side of that coin and talk about a few things that do have me very optimistic about the quality of the game upon launch. Now the first thing is that they released these review copies extremely early, especially for a game this size. And again, if we are comparing this to something like Cyberpunk, to the best of my knowledge, and please correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section down below, but we know that Cyberpunk launched on December 10th of 2020, and I don't think people got those review copies until maybe 4 days before launch. And not only that, but one of the major issues people were having is that all of the footage we saw from these review copies were from people who were playing PC that had a very high quality rig. And by the time we actually got reviews on what the game was like to play in console, it was already too late. I mean, the game had been released, and then subsequently they had to give all those refunds to people who just were not happy with anything that they saw. However, when you compare that to what's going on with Starfield and the fact that they put it into the hands of gamers extremely early, which allowed people to not only test it, but it also allows gamers to actually give feedback about what's going on, which means the game can then implement certain bug fixes before this thing even launches. Now, what you're looking at on screen is a quick breakdown of the day one patch. It says a final update has been ready to make the experience just a bit more smoother for jumping in on day one. Xbox Series X and S, Microsoft Store PC, and Game Pass subscribers who have preloaded the game should now have the update rolling out to them. It weighs about 15 gigabytes on both PC and console. As Steam players aren't able to preload the game until the premium early access period starts for everyone, they should not see a change in their download procedure. Now at this point, Bethesda has not officially released the patch notes for this update, but there has been a leak from Insider Gaming and they seem to have gone over all of that information. And when you look at the leak notes, the main focus is on bug fixes and resolving crashes as well as improving performance. Now I'm not going to share any of those with you today, and the main reason for that is because those patch notes do include a few quest fixes as well. As promised, I do not want to give any spoilers away whatsoever. I cannot believe we're only a matter of days away from launch, and I cannot wait to finally jump into this game. With all that being said, I'm going to start to wrap this up. As always, I want to thank you all for your incredible support of this channel. Now for tomorrow's video, my plan is to answer questions that you leave in the comments section of this one, so please feel free to let me know what you think so far, and I will do my best to answer as many as I can. That is going to do it for this video, and as I mention at the end of every one of these, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. If you enjoyed this, you could hit that like button as well, but most importantly, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone.